As they made the 2-week journey to Toliala, the planet of dreams, where Mika hoped she would find more members for her crew, her and Raimi went through a surprising amount of changes to the ship, as well as themselves. They quickly discovered that the nanites that could reconstruct metal could also reconstruct basically anything. After talking with exovol about his ability to make the bedding, they found out that disassembling fabric fibers and cleaning them and reassembling them was an easy task. Adding different chemical combinations and such, they could easily change the color of fabric as well. So, it was basically a snap to have clothing made. They used this to make new uniforms. They decided that some sort of uniform would probably fit best for any sort of proper crew. They wanted to look good, but not authoritarian. So, they went about creating a look that was somewhere in between allowing people to choose their own custom clothing and a unanimous appearance. Basically, they chose different color palettes in combination. These combination of colors would indicate that they were a member of the crew, along with a badge. The badge taking the shape of a bird in flight, a visual representation of Mika's name. Mika's name, after all, was easily translated into bird of flight. It could also be translated into adventurous one, a namesake that she was given because of her flightful nature and carefree manners about adventure. While everyone else usually stuck very close to the village, Mika would often be found running off of her own accord, like a bird flying off all by itself, running out to explore the rest of the world, going on her own little adventures. A silver color palette for her clothing was decided for Mika's attire, as it would seem more regal, as a representation of her status as captain of the ship. Next would be a sapphire blue, which would indicate that you were one of the commanding units, a direct bridge crew with authority over the other members. And last but not least, the remaining members of the crew would be given emerald green as their primary color palette. The way that your clothes fit or the type of clothing didn't matter so long as you fell within the color scheme of your specific rank on board the crew, meaning that people were free to wear what they wanted, whatever made them feel comfortable. As far as the redesigns to the ship, they did a great deal of changing. By the time that they reached their destination, they had changed Exovol's physical layout to make him much more streamlined. No longer the boxy exterior surface that was a duplication of the vessel that he devoured, giving him a much harder angular shape. In the end, Exovol's physical form ended up resembling something of an interesting looking arrowhead, with two solid spikes that protruded forward rather than back, towards the front. Now, Mika and Raimi, donning their new uniforms aboard Exovol, approached the planet, their destination, the planet of dreams. As Toliala appeared within view in front of them on board the bridge, the vast assortment of colors, the planet itself showing a vibrant emerald green, with specks of blue and orange, and washes of gold for the forests. They were, of course, immediately hailed by the security forces that surrounded the planet, receiving a signal telling them to hold their distance and await communications, as Mika took the captain's seat, with Raimi standing beside her. After a few moments, the call came in. On the other end of the display screen, they saw a figure, a man with green skin and green hair, white-tinted irises around his eyes, with gold centering. "This is the Transit Authority for Toliala. We would like you to designate the name of your vessel, number of crew members, and your intentions here at Toliala. Hello, this is Mika, the captain of the starship Exovol. Our current crew numbers are 2, the captain and a crew member in training, Raimi. We've come to Toliala in search of both work and crew members. We have no hostile intent and are requesting permission to dock with one of the Toliala orbiting space stations," Mika said, a bright smile on her face, feeling very nice to call herself a captain. "Wow, only 2 members on your crew, huh?" the figure replied, looking her over. "How could you even pilot a ship out here with only 2 crew members? That sort of thing doesn't seem possible. Quite frankly, I'm doubting your whole story. You've probably got members hidden on board, don't you? Planning something sneaky? We aren't fools here on Toliala. If you wish to be given entry, lower your shields. We will then have one of our patrol units scan your ship, and we will expect you to allow 1 security unit on board to search the ship for any signs of nefarious activity. These are, after all, pirate-infested segments of space. If you are unwilling to comply, you may turn around and go the other way," the man said, looking very serious and intent. "No, there's no problem. I'll comply. My shields are already down, so you're free to scan as you wish. I am opening my docking bay now, so any vessels that you wish to send may come freely," Mika said, pressing a few buttons, opening the docking bay of the ship. It actually took them a great deal of time to get through customs. The security check was time-consuming, but they did manage to impress the people coming on board to check it over, as well as the individual who performed the scan on the ship, who, quite frankly, was having trouble making heads or tails of what was going on, as there was unexpected interference. And Mika had to explain that her vessel actually had a great deal of nanotechnology, which they of course found interesting. Nanotech was an exceptionally rare technology. It was extremely hard to produce safely. If produced incorrectly, it could run amok. So they asked for a small sample in order to verify design and structure. Mika agreed and allowed them to take a small sample of nanites and scan them over, after which they were blown away by the category of nanites. The sophistication of their design was far beyond anything that they had seen in nanites thus far. Usually nanites that crossed through customs had minor uses. Often at times they would have specific nanites that performed very specific functions, such as a type of nanites that were made to clean water so that it would be safe to drink, or nanites that assisted in farming by treating soil, or things that broke down rock or hard metals. But the nanites that Exovol was made of seemed to be far more advanced. A mixture of countless different types, all having their own individual functions that seemed to interact flawlessly, able to change the ways that they did things and rearrange themselves and create new functions by overlapping their own individual functions. The number of variations on what they could do was quite frankly astonishing to them. They had never seen anything like it.